The story of the second-generation Volvo XC90 begins in 2015. Its well-received design quickly won it over. Other models based on its platform were quickly launched and received equally warmly. The same year it was launched, the XC90 achieved a 5-star Euro NCAP rating, confirming that it was still a true Volvo. In 2017, the engines were slightly revised, and in 2018, the unpopular, economical D4 version with front-wheel drive was withdrawn from sale. 2019 saw a facelift and a change in engine names, with fewer engines available. In 2024, a second major facelift took place and the diesel engine was withdrawn from sale. We're taking a look at cars produced to this point. Measuring just under 5 meters long, the car has a powerful stance and commands respect on the street. Its pure Swedish form captivates with its simplicity and elegance, but also evokes associations with safety. It goes without saying that the interior comfortably seats 5 people, although 7-seat versions are also available. The rear row is rather emergency. However, a 6-seat version was offered in the American market. There are also 4-seat versions, Excellence, but these are rare. In such a car, between the independently operated rear seats, there's a large console with a refrigerator. This limits the car's functionality, as the trunk is permanently separated from the cabin. The trunk in the standard version has a capacity of 705 liters, and in the 7-seat version with the third-row seats folded, it can hold 671 liters. The XC90's functionality is undeniable, and so is its ride comfort. The car is very well quiet, absorbs bumps well, and you can feel safe while driving. Equipped with numerous assistance systems and excellent lighting, it's a joy to drive on long journeys. The optional Bang & Olufsen sound system enhances comfort. The car is built on the all-new SPA platform, also shared by the S90/V90 models. It sits on an independent suspension, with aluminum double wishbones at the front. The steering system features an electrically assisted gearbox. The rear axle is an interesting design feature. It's supported by powerful lower wishbones and lateral links. The air suspension version features a composite transverse leaf spring. The 4-wheel drive in the combustion versions is implemented, as in the predecessor, by a 5th-generation Haldex multiplate clutch. All engines installed in this generation of the Volvo XC90 are 4-cylinder units with a displacement of 2 liters. The choice of powertrains is surprisingly wide, although they are largely similar in design. The petrol engines in the B4204 family develop power outputs ranging from 250 to 326 horsepower. The T5 and T6 model designations indicate only the power level, not the number of cylinders. The T8 is a plug-in hybrid variant. The T6 and T8 engines feature a turbocharger and a supercharger. The T5 has only a turbocharger. In 2019, the marking of the engine variants changed from T to B. The same applies to diesels, as it indicates the presence of a mild hybrid system. The diesels belong to the D4204 family and feature 2 turbochargers. They develop power from 190 to 240 horsepower. The engines were designated with the letter D, with D4 being the least powerful version with front-wheel drive and D5 representing the remaining diesels. In 2019, only one diesel engine, the B5, remained in the lineup, generating 235 horsepower. More powerful variants also feature the Power Pulse system, which uses compressed air to boost the power. The third PowerPoint option is a hybrid, designated the T8 twin engine, recharged from 2021, which features a petrol engine and 2 electric motors, 1 per axle. Rear-wheel drive is provided solely by the electric motor. System power figures vary depending on the market, and Volvo calculated power by combining the combustion and electric drivetrains, so the reliability of this information is questionable. However, it is assumed that the top-of-the-line T8 models have a maximum power output of around 400 horsepower. All engines were paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. The name Geartronic is often associated with the Getrag transmission. In reality, it's a Japanese-made gearbox, the Aisin TG81SC. It's very durable, lasting practically the life of the car, especially when properly serviced. Which engine should I choose? Recent years have shown that the gasoline engine is a more refined design. It's important to remember to replace the timing belt regularly, ideally every 100,000 to 150,000 kilometers. A complete set of replacement parts costs around €240. Be sure to replace it after purchase, as belts can break. Excessive oil consumption is primarily complained about by those who purchased their car from someone who leased it and had it serviced every 20,000 kilometers. It's important to remember that this is a very demanding engine in this regard, and it doesn't tolerate extended oil service intervals. After higher mileage, cars running on poor quality oil may require replacement of the injectors. Expect to spend around €360 per unit. The electric water pump may also need replacing after about 200,000 kilometers. This part costs around €240 to €280. Diesel engines, unlike petrol engines, have a few more issues, though nothing catastrophic. Up to 200,000 to 250,000 kilometers, they don't require major maintenance, other than replacing the timing belt drive. A complete set costs around €240. As with petrol engines, the belt can sometimes break and damage the engine. Diesel engines are prone to leaks and carbon buildup, which should be removed from the intake manifold when replacing the timing belt. The intake manifold contains flaps that can become clogged with carbon buildup, although they usually don't break off. Common problems after higher mileage include leaks in the intercooler and boost pipes, including the power pulse system, as well as a blocked EGR valve. As you can see, both engines are a fairly safe choice, and there's no clear answer to the question, which is better? Your preferences and technical condition should be your guide. The petrol XC90s are more enjoyable to drive, but fuel consumption of around 12 liters per 100 kilometers can be off-putting. Diesels don't consume significantly less fuel at around 9 liters per 100 kilometers. Only the front-wheel drive D4 variant stands out, averaging around 7 to 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Neither diesel offered thrilling performance, and the petrol versions offered very good dynamics only in the T6 and B6 and T8 models. Hybrids are no more economical than petrol versions. For such a car to be worthwhile, it must be charged regularly, preferably after every drive. Ideally, it should be charged from a 230 volts home electrical system. This allows you to save on petrol, while the cost of running on electricity is a very individual matter. On electricity alone, you can travel about 30 to 40 kilometers on a fully charged battery in a car from the initial production run, T8 twin engine, or about 50 to 70 kilometers in a car marked Recharge. Buying a used XC90 T8 is a significant risk simply because of the complexity of the drivetrain. Assuming it won't provide any benefits, it's only a choice worth making in exceptional circumstances. What breaks? Users don't often complain about these cars, and many make sure they have proper maintenance because they have experience with this brand. They know perfectly well that Volvo cars are very reliable for a long time when properly cared for. Unfortunately, like almost every premium car and every car manufactured after 2015, this one suffers from minor issues stemming from poor production quality and rapid development. One such issue is the LOX freezing due to improperly designed seals. Among the faults unbecoming of the Volvo brand are a breaking driver's seat mount, the seat begins to rock, and damage to the completely exposed wiring harness under the seat, which is full of wires and connectors. The former is primarily caused by the driver's weight, while the latter is caused by a larger object, e.g. a bottle or toy, being pushed under the seat. There have also been reports of failures in one of the modules located near the driver's feet. Snow entering the cabin corrodes the module's contacts, leading to unusual malfunctions, some systems not working, inability to turn off the engine, etc. Another issue is a lack of refrigerant in the air conditioning system. This situation can be a perfect indicator of the owner's neglect of the car. If the air conditioning in an XC90 for sale doesn't work, you're dealing with a car that's been severely neglected. The suspension system is quite durable, but also expensive to service. The entire control arms are replaced. A set of high-quality replacement parts for a single front wheel costs €260. The rear suspension, especially the air suspension type, is significantly more expensive. A garage can spend up to several €1,000, and replacement parts are very scarce. In winter, air spring valves can cause problems. Compressors can also be damaged. The standard AWD system in the XC90 is a reliable solution, although it requires regular oil changes and isn't particularly suited to rough off-road use. It's also worth noting the bevel gear, which changes the drivetrain angle by 90 degrees, meaning it operates under quite a heavy load. As with the previous generation XC90, you should expect damage to the transmission if you frequently floor the accelerator on rough terrain.